welcome to the QLA Voice, More Than a Podcast. We have a very interesting podcast coming up for you today titled Keep, Sell or Loan, where we analyze the current Barcelona squad and decide whether we should keep, sell or loan the players. We'll also be looking at the players, the youth players returning from loan, as well as those players that we would have signed in January and will be joining up with the squad in the summer. So stay tuned. So we'll start off with the current squad and we'll start with our goalkeepers. So the first player is Marc-Andre ter Stegen. Of course, we are going to keep him and that needs no further explanation. Next we move to backup goalkeeper Neto. We will keep him because he's a quality backup. But if a good offer arrives, close to what we would have paid for him, then we should sell by all means. Now, let's look at our defenders. So we'll start things off with Semedo. So I would say sell. Semedo has been with us for I think it's 3 years so far. He is a decent right back option, but in my opinion, it is not likely that he will become world class. And so if it is that we can get a good figure for him, I would sell, or if we can use him as a bargaining chip to acquire some of our transfer targets, by all means. Gerard Piqué. Keep. Piqué is 33 and he is a player that would have come through La Masia's golden generation. So as such, a player like him, you have to allow them to retire or leave on their own. However, we should sign another quality or competent centre-back so that we can start to reduce his playing time. Lenglet. Definitely keep. He is actually our number one centre-back on the team at this moment. I definitely think he just needs another competent partner, someone who is a bit more athletic to complement him. Jordi Alba. I would keep Alba. He is 31 now. So I think we definitely need to sign a left back of higher quality than what we have now in Junior Firpo to challenge his spot and begin to phase him out, because that was the whole purpose of signing Firpo. But I'm not too convinced that Firpo can provide the adequate competition that Jordi Alba needs to raise his level. Samuel Umtiti. Sell. Now, this hurts me a lot because Umtiti was one of my favorite defenders, and when he came into Barcelona, he was on an upward projection to possible world-classness. And now it is unlikely that he's going to rediscover any sort of confidence and form he had, prior to all these injuries. And this is a very, very sad situation that, injuries has Umtiti in this state, because he had so much potential. Junior Firpo. I would keep Firpo for one more season and reassess his situation after. He would have played with Setien, who had him flying at Betis. So I think he deserves to, hang around a bit longer with Setien to see if, Setien can do something for him now at Barcelona. And at the same time, if he's used as a bargaining chip in any player swap deals, I won't lose sleep over it either. Ivan Rakitic, sell. I fully believe that Ivan Rakitic's time at Barcelona has now come to an end. He has been an excellent servant of the club over the years, very world-class quality midfielder. However, I think that the €90 million offer that PSG would have sent in for him last season, Barcelona should have taken that, because now the player is on a decline and now we're struggling to even get 20 million for him. So I think that offers like that out of this world offers should always be accepted. Barcelona had no right to turn that down. Sergio Busquets, keep. His situation would be similar to Piqué's in that he's a La Masia player coming through from the golden generation, and so he needs to leave, or retire on his timing. However, we need to bring in a quality central defensive midfielder so that Busquets can get rest and eventually be phased out, because all these players, the time is coming to an end, and very, very quickly, and they're not able to keep up with the pace of the game for much longer. Arthur, keep. And this goes without any further explanation. Arthur needs to be kept at all costs. How can you say that this man is the future Xavi, and now you just want to throw him in a swap deal, for Pjanic, who is on a decline, right? Arthur is still young, and he has a whole future ahead of him. So much, potential and possibilities. We need to be patient with him and groom him to be the type of midfielder that we know he can be. Sergio Roberto. Now, I would sell Sergio Roberto if a good offer arrives. He was always going to be just a good squad player, and he was never going to be world class. And he is somewhat still living off that La Remontada comeback. He's not that consistent or good enough to say that he's demanding a starting central midfielder position, and he is quite the defensive liability at right back. However, he has a great hard-working spirit and the willingness to play wherever he's placed. But if an offer comes in, I would accept it for Sergio Roberto. Frankie de Jong, keep. This goes without saying as well. Arturo Vidal, sell. That goes without saying. Forwards, Luis Suarez. Now, I would sell Suarez once an offer arrives. He is on extremely high wages, and by selling him, we can free up some of this and reduce our wage bill, and this would give us a little bit more leverage, when negotiating deals and the amount of, players that we can sign as well. Suarez is going to be 34 next season, and I'm not sure how much longer he has again at the top. So selling him, instead of allowing his contract to run down and then he walks away for free, selling him for a small fee, it would be welcomed. Lionel Messi. Now, I don't even think we needed to address this name, He, as well as Piqué and Busquets, should be, on a similar plan in that, again, I reiterate, you have to keep them until they decide to retire or until they choose to leave. And that's just how it has to go. However, we need to start lowering salaries for some of these players over 30, or we include that, all right, in order for them to sign on or to continue extending the contracts, they will have to take a sizable pay cut, because Barcelona's wage bill, as I explained in the last podcast, is 83% of the expenditure. And so these older players over 30, if they want to continue at Barcelona, they should also understand that they will have to take some wage cuts. Ousmane Dembele, keep. As long as he's fit, he is simply unbenchable. This man offers so much pace and unpredictability in our lineup, in our front line, which is something that we have been missing when he's out. So Ousmane, we definitely have to keep him and hope that he can stay fit, because he is so important to our attack. Griezmann, sell. Griezmann is a world-class player, but unfortunately he should not have been signed because he simply doesn't fit our system. Braithwaite. Keep. For the few games that he would have played this season, he offered a lot of pace, strength, and athleticism to our attack. And this is something that we would have lacked while Suarez was out. He is such a bullish type player, and he's so strong. And I think that he is a very decent backup that we should, hold on to for a while. Loans. Coutinho. So Coutinho is on loan, and I have decided that when he returns, that Barcelona should keep him. With the COVID-19 situation, it is unlikely that any club is going to pay our asking price and his high wages. So I think that we have to find some way to alter our formation and our system a bit so that Coutinho can play and that he will excel. Rafinha, sell. Alenia, keep. It's time for us to start, believing in our youth again. Alenia certainly has the potential, and he needs to start having a bigger role in the squad. Todibo, keep. Musa Wage, I'll send him on loan. He has a very small frame as a right back, Wage, but he's full of pace, but defensively he's lacking. Defensively he's very frail, but attacking wise he's good. Maybe we can even try Wage as a right winger. Maybe he might benefit more from that role, or benefit more from an attacking role as opposed to a defensive one, because he's very weak defensively. Oriol Busquets. Now, keep. In his younger days, Barcelona would have, touted this guy to be, the natural Sergio Busquets replacement. And so he would have spent his loan season last season, or this season currently. He would have been on loan at FC Twente. And he would have played both central defensive midfield as well as centre back, based on the needs of the club there. And so, since we already have 0 central defensive midfielders in the squad, I think that it is time that we allow this youth to show, if he really deserves to be at Barcelona, and let's just give him a try. Matheus Fernandes, he's on loan to Real Valladolid. He is a midfielder. I would send him on loan. I would allow him to do the preseason with Barcelona. And actually, I would look at or compare both players, both him and Oriol Busquets, and see who performs better during the preseason. And whoever performs better, you keep them and you send the other on loan to gain experience. January transfers. Trincao. Now, we would have paid 40 million euros for Trincao. I would say keep him. So when he joins up with the club in the summer, we need to keep him. I mean, after all, we paid $40 million for him. So we need to see what the player can do. So I would keep him. Pedri is 17. He's coming from Las Palmas in the Segunda Division. I would loan him for a year to a La Liga club, but I would allow him to complete the preseason with the first team first. Youth players. Ansu Fati. Loan. I love Fati. However, he needs to get an entire season of playing week in, week out under his belt. as much as I'd like to keep him, it is unlikely that he's going to get the necessary playing time for him to continue growing as a player, with Dembele, Coutinho, Griezmann, Messi, Suarez, Braithwaite, and possibly Trincao coming in. Well, not possibly, he's coming in the summer. So we need to do what is best for Fati, and I would send him on loan because he's at a stage in his life where he needs to be playing frequently. Ricky Puig, loan. Like Ansu, he deserves to play week in, week out. There is no doubt that Ricky Puig has all the qualities needed in a Barcelona midfielder to succeed. However, it is going to be very difficult for him to get this playing time in an already stacked midfield. So I would send Ricky Puig on loan. Ronald Araujo. Now, Ronald Araujo is the Uruguayan centre-back. Barcelona have the belief that he is going to be better than Todibo, so they have placed a lot of confidence in Ronald Araujo, and so he has the rest of the season, I would say, to prove to me that he deserves to be at Barcelona. And depending on how he does, I will decide whether to loan or to keep him. But so far the jury is still out on Ronald. Alex Callado, loan. He's another winger from the B team, and it's going to be very difficult again for him to get valuable minutes, and so I would send him on loan. Monchu, which is the Barcelona B captain, he has I think it's the most goals and assists for the B team, if I'm not mistaken, and I would also send him on loan to get some valuable first team minutes. And then after their loan spells, we have evaluate the situations and see, who should come back to the first team, or who deserves another, loan spell to continue improving and growing. So this is all for now. If you agree or if you disagree with some of the things that we said, drop a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe our page. And thanks for listening to the QLA Voice, and we hope to have you listen with us again next week. So, bye for now.